Over the last couple of years, how many times have you heard these statements? Modern gaming sucks, or games aren't as good as they used to be. There has been so much negativity towards this modern era of gaming that it'd be easy to just kind of fall into these thoughts and feelings. Sure, we have games priced higher than ever, endless microtransactions, broken launches, layoffs from companies, and games being cancelled. It seems there is an always ever-present swirl of negativity surrounding gaming at the moment. And if you fall into that swirl, you won't be able to step back out of it and see the bigger picture. So rather than sit here and be negative, let's go through all of those initial statements and detail why they are totally wrong. Let's talk about why modern gaming is actually pretty great. Statement 1. Modern gaming sucks. When someone says to me, modern gaming sucks, I often think they are referring to a large part of the industry being the AAA side of it. AAA games from massive publishers such as EA, Ubisoft, Microsoft, PlayStation, whatever it may be, have disappointed a few times over the last couple of years, especially for the price that you pay for the games. That I understand. There has been a decline of quality for the sake of prices and profit. But if that is how you feel, allow me to introduce you to the world of indie games. Back in the early part of the 360 era of games, you wouldn't see as many games from independent publishers as you do now. If they were on Steam, sure, and if you had a PC at the time, sure, but PC gaming has exploded, console gaming has exploded, and it's become easier for people to make games as well and get them on those platforms. They have become more accessible than ever. There are literally hundreds of different unique games for you to play if you go and search for them, oftentimes by small teams of developers or even just one person. You can see the passion and dedication poured into every aspect of their game. Pick a genre and I guarantee there is going to be something for you. RPGs, platformers, survival games, roguelites, it's endless. And the great part is they are all available for a fraction of the price that you'll pay for a standard AAA release. Balatro was $15 or $12 whenever it launched last year, and it took the world by storm. Smaller titles set a high quality bar for the price that you pay, and I can name a bunch of them right now that I've adored and spent countless hours in that are both indie and AA. V-Rising, No Rest for the Wicked, Slay the Spire, Darkest Dungeon, Balatro, Hades. I haven't even scratched the surface of all the indie titles that are incredible. All it takes is for you to step out of your comfort zone and find and try something new and experience something that you might not get at a higher budget. Many indie titles focus on one specific thing and do it really well, or try to offer an innovation to a genre, or even blend genres. Indies are one of my favorite aspects of gaming right now, and in the last 2 years alone, it's been dominated by a few killer games. I mentioned Balatro, but it blew people away last year, and it was in the Game of the Year conversation. Lethal Company and Power World took over the internet for a short period, and now Repo is doing the same thing for groups of friends. And of course, you can play those big hits from big developers, but if you think that just playing those big games is what gaming is offering to you, I can tell you there is a lot of other things that you can do to enjoy this hobby a whole lot more. The big publishers aren't the be-all and end-all, and if they are not delivering the product that you want, then go to a place that will. This is the same answer that I give to those people that say that gaming is boring and all of the games that they're playing are stale, because they don't want to go out of their comfort zone. They don't want to just try a genre or try something different. And there's a load of games out there that are just waiting to be played. A lot of what this statement suggests is that the whole of modern gaming sucks, and that includes the games. But I just don't think that is the case. I think a lot of the time it's to do with how games are being priced, the business practices a lot of these developers and bit publishers have where they overprice microtransactions, the constant focus on live service, which is ruining a lot of games, and then on top of that, you are having to deal with games not living up to expectations or having like a subpar product. But as I suggested with indies, Right now, there is so many options that you can take to save yourself money, to not fall into those pitfalls of spending a lot of money at one given time on one product and be disappointed. It's easier than ever to be able to do that. You can go onto Game Pass and buy a month and then cancel your subscription after those 30 days and play the entire catalog there, or even on PS Plus if you have PlayStation. There's constant Steam sales. There's sales across all the different platforms. There's even free games that are given away or trials that are given away. And then on top of that, there's reviews. There's constant talk about it online, whether that's negative or positive. You can make informed decisions now about how you spend your money, more so than we have done in the last 15 to 20 years. So what you need to do to avoid that massive FOMO is just wait. Wait for a game to come down in price. Wait for the reviews to come out for a game, and make sure that you are getting the best experience for your money and the best experience for you. Statement number 2. Games aren't as good as they used to be. As I reach the grand old age of 30 pretty soon, which is pretty much ancient on the internet, I often hear the term games aren't as good as they used to be a lot. If I'm being truly honest, in my older years, I've thought about this a few times. My generation was growing up in the golden era, you could say, of console gaming, being the 360 era, where we had the PlayStation 3, the Wii, and the Xbox 360. It produced some of the best games of all time. Halo 3, GTA 4, Mario Galaxy, BioShock, Uncharted 2 and 3, Mass Effect and the rest of that trilogy, Red Dead Redemption, Call of Duty 4 and Modern Warfare 2. There's so many games, you can just keep going. Here's the thing. Every generation has players that grew up with a certain set of games. There are much older gamers that enjoyed the PlayStation 1 era and the Nintendo 64 era, and they're going to say these games were better then and they were better than the games that we have now. There's always going to be a generational difference because a lot of the time we are looking through rose-tinted glasses and putting ourselves in the past rather than the present. And this has been experienced a lot of the last 5 years, because if someone says to me that the last 5 years has been dead for gaming, are you serious? If we are counting the modern era of being 2020 to now, which is the last 5 years, there has been an absolute number of bangers that we could have been playing. Baldur's Gate 3, Elden Ring, Tears of the Kingdom, Astrobot, It Takes Two, God of War Ragnarok, Metaphor Fantasero, as I like to call it, Alan Wake 2, Spider-Man 2, all of the indie games that I could have mentioned as well. And more recently, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Monster Hunter Wilds, and Split Fiction have been insane this year. All of those games have listed 89 or higher on Metacritic. So if you really want to take those ratings, go back and compare, because they're not too far off. Always looking in the past and saying games we had aren't as good just doesn't hold up when we keep getting bangers every single year. I've fallen victim to putting on the glasses a few times, I will admit, for videos and when I'm talking to friends. But when I have those conversations, two main thoughts I have coming away from it are clear. Nostalgia just makes us feel good. I'm sure many of us wish that we could wipe the memory from our brains and replay a game that we love just to get that feeling of amazement. We end up chasing that feeling in new games, and it can leave us disappointed because we start to compare, analyze, and forget to enjoy what we're actually playing. Comparison is the thief of joy is the main thing I will say to that, and it certainly rings true in the current gaming climate. The second thought I have is that as an art form ages, it takes more effort to create something truly special that we haven't seen before. On the gaming front, it's still relatively young compared to movies, TV, and books, being around about 35 to 40 years at this point, with a lot of advancements in the last 20 years at least. We've seen lots of innovation, lots of amazing games, mechanics and stories that we've never seen done before in this art form. But when you've seen something multiple times, it tends to lose that wow factor that it once had. Games can become formulaic and tiring. It can take certain developers to bring a game out and truly blow us away. Even some developers releasing a game feels like an event that you need to be there for now. I attribute this to the Soul series quite a lot, because When a FromSoft game releases, it's an event that everyone kind of has to be there for, and it's very much like when the Nolan movies come out at the cinema. To make these games, though, it takes longer and longer because they're getting more and more complex to make. As I make this video, it's been 12 years since the release of GTA 5 and 7 years before the release of Red Dead 2. We're supposed to be getting GTA 6 this year, and that's been going for quite some time. When that hits, it's probably going to be a banger. Masterpiece level games are taking longer to make, which is an important factor compared to the 360 era, because it was something like 2 years between every game that we were seeing. We had Gears of War, then Gears of War 2, Gears of War 3, and the games were just coming out at such a rapid pace at that time. It was actually insane. But at a certain point, those games will become tiring as we see them year on year. To truly make something unique and groundbreaking that people will be impressed by, it will take longer. I remember the first time I slid or dived in a first-person shooter, which has now become the norm in most FPSs. And I'm sure you'll tell me in the comments part of a game that blew you away when you first saw it. What I'm ultimately trying to say is that games now are certainly on par or better than games from the past. It just takes longer for us to get them now. Modern gaming certainly has its flaws across the board, I won't deny. And I worry about backwards compatible games and preserving older games, which is a real issue. Pricing of games is getting out of control as well, but all of those flaws are outweighed by the positives that I've just listed, which is the same for every single generation, both now and in 5 years' time. I am forever grateful that we continue to have so many amazing games released every year, graphics that are better than ever, new genres being merged together, masterpieces that when they hit are fuel for the soul. When I actually think and look about the bigger picture, I think I love gaming more now than I think I've ever done. And the saying, you don't know you're in the good old times until you've left them, is something that I feel quite a lot, and I feel it's going to be very true to what we're seeing right now. It's so easy to look back and reminisce without focusing on the present and what we have now. So just go out and play some awesome games and enjoy gaming for what it is, rather than just being negative all the time. Thank you very much for watching the video. Kind of a bit of a mismatch of a couple of things. Kind of wanted to get that bit of negativity away and inject some positivity into the gaming conversation. And if that has been the case, leave a like on this video, subscribe if you are new, and as always, this has been Jimbo, and I'll see you guys next time.